Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz, Executive Editor of ClassicsToday.com, here to talk to you about a little gem, Prokofiev's Lieutenant Kijé Suite. Now, Lieutenant Kijé has been recorded endless amounts of times. Again, mostly very good. It's not a piece that requires a great deal of interpretive depth, for example, and it's not a piece full of expressive subtleties and complications. It's tuneful, colorful, descriptive film music. And the best performances are the ones that really don't mess with it too much, because the only thing you really need to do is keep it moving. That's not to say certain performances don't die, particularly in the last movement, Kijé's Death, where all of the other themes come back and it's kind of polytonal and it moves along at a fairly placid mezzo something or other for a while. That really needs to keep moving. But there are some issues with various performances, and I really believe that there are four really, really great ones. The first is Reiner's, which is as brilliant as anything Reiner ever did. A little bit hard-edged, I think. You know, Reiner was not one given to much humor, but then neither was George Szell, and his recording is also superb. Remember, it came coupled originally with the Hari János Suite on a disc called Two Musical Fables. And, you know, Szell was never one to let his hair down. Reiner did a lot of light music and stuff like that, but Szell, almost never. And so when he did choose something to do that wasn't in his usual Fach, he usually did it extremely well because, first of all, he was outside of his Fach, and second of all, he wanted to bring it into his Fach, which meant make it sound better than he probably thought it really was. I mean, I think Lieutenant Kijé is marvelous. If only for the tunes, it's a great work. Then there are two others that I think are really distinctive. And again, as I'm saying, there are dozens of recordings of this, but I'm limiting myself to the ones that I think really capture the essence of the piece and have given me a lot of pleasure in repeated listenings. The other is Claudio Abbado with the Chicago Symphony. Now, this is a great coupling because Kijé originally came with the Scythian Suite on one disc, and then Alexander Nevsky, which this is coupled with, was another disc. So now you get them all together on one fabulous compact disc, and this is, for my mind, the best Nevsky out there too. So this is a mandatory acquisition, no matter what. Another mandatory acquisition is Ormandy with the Philadelphia Orchestra. This disc has been around forever. It really deserves to be like remastered and reissued with hosannas and festooned with banners. This is one of the great Prokofiev discs ever. It has my reference version in the classical symphony. It's just a knockout. It's got a stunning Love for Three Oranges suite with the march is not performed too fast for once. It really sounds like a march. And this amazing Lieutenant Kijé. It's nowhere better than in the Troika, the third movement with da 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 dum bum 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 ba da 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 da. I would play it for you, except I probably can't do it without running the risk of getting a copyright claim lodged against me. But it's just a wonderful performance, and the reason the Troika is so nice is that it really does sound like a sleigh ride. I mean, more than anybody else's. You're not even conscious of this layered percussion texture. Let me tell you what Prokofiev does with percussion and give you a little secret of just how sophisticated the scoring is, even in this tiny little detail. To do a sleigh ride, you would think you would have sleigh bells, and he does have sleigh bells, but not quite where you think they are. The basic texture is created by, and I have it right here, a tambourine, here's a tambourine, and a triangle on the offbeats. It's bump with the triangle, and the tambourine is going like that. And the reason he scores it that way is because of the unbelievably annoying nature of orchestral sleigh bells. You may have seen sleigh bells. Sometimes they use them in Mahler's Fourth Symphony. It looks like a rack of tiny bells stretched on wires and sort of jiggled like this. That exists, but not. You have to custom make them, and they're not easy to find. But a regular set of sleigh bells looks like this. It is extremely difficult to control. It is a percussionist nightmare because the slightest wiggle and off they go. And you can't stop them. I mean, you just have to wait until they die down by themselves. So the only way to do it, the way you play them, is by hitting your fist like this in the Prokofiev. There are other ways you can just, shake them. But the big way you do is like that, you see? And so while the tambourine is whacking, the sleigh bells are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, dum, bum, like that. Now, note the overhang, right? I mean, you don't have to be going like this. You just need one to get that nice sleigh belly texture. And it's going to keep on going for as long as these little suckers roll around in their little balls. And in fact, making it even more annoying and stupid is the fact that when you buy one of these, it comes with a sleigh bell at the end. It's like the cherry on top. I mean, what good is it? Who knows? But the reason it's there is, the first thing is to give you that extra sense of sleigh bells everywhere. But the fact of the matter is the first thing you do as a percussionist is you rip that off. Why? Because that way you can store it this way. And once they stop moving, you can pick it up carefully and put it down carefully without making any noise and just hope that it stays upright and that nothing goes wrong. So the nice thing and the best thing about the Ormandy performance is that it just has this glitter coming from the right tambourine. You also have to pick one that has nice bright jingles, not one of these dark sort of crunchy sounding things that sounds like scrap metal rubbing against each other. And believe me, there are some. And he gets the texture right. In other words, Ormandy was a texture guy, and Prokofiev wanted the sound of sleigh bells, and you get the sound of sleigh bells. Now, the other thing about Lieutenant Kijé, I'll say in closing, is that the original has words. That troika is a song. Kijé's wedding, the drinking song, that's a song. They have words. The words are completely stupid. I mean, the words to the troika, I don't know what they're in Russian. It translates into something like, a woman is like a doorknob, shiny and polished on the outside and hollow on the inside. I don't know. It's just inane. And it sounds awful with the sung text, in my opinion. It sounds infinitely better when you just have an orchestra playing those wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tunes. And so if you're looking for Lieutenant Kijé and you can find it, you got to hear Ormandy's. It is the most natural, breathtakingly beautiful, exciting, glittering. It's everything the music should be. And if you can't find Ormandy, then go for Abbado on Deutsche Grammophon. But Reiner and Zell are also awfully good. You could do worse. You may want to have those anyway if you collect those conductors. But Ormandy is my go-to performance for Prokofiev's Lieutenant Kijé. Thank you, and keep on listening.